dog Honey. There's another dog, but Annalise has just been given by us a beehive, and she's going to explain a little bit of how this works. Go for it, Annalise.
So this is the hive, and this little crack here is the entrance, and the bees will be lined up along here, and they will be fanning the hive to keep a constant temperature of about 30 degrees because they need a consistent temperature, otherwise they will die. And they also protect the hive from other bees coming in where possible. At the back here, down the bottom of the box, we've got a little tray that comes out, and I will buy something called dichotomous earth. You can just get it from Bunnings. And what it is, it's like a sandy white sort of texture, and I'll put it in the base, and the hive beetles and ants and various bugs will drop to the bottom, and they will suffocate in that mixture called dichotomous earth. Then I'll just leave that. I'll show you inside. This is the lid, and this is what we call a brood box because it's on the bottom. And this is where the queen will lay her eggs. This is where the queen and all the babies will live. So this is another beetle trap where you'll fill up with oil, and the beetles will climb in and fall down, and they will die to stop them from taking over the hive, because otherwise it can die out. And in here we've got frames, and they will fill up these empty frames with honeycomb, and she will lay her eggs in the little frames. This frame over here might give you a little bit of a better idea of what it will look like. So this one has a set foundation with some wax over the top, and the reason that this one is black is because then I can see where she's laying a little bit better. But these frames are an heirloom from our friend Bruce, so I'm very grateful. Thank you, Bruce. So she will lay eggs. I think in summer it can be up to 1,000 eggs per day, I believe it is. So she will lay her eggs all in here, and there will be some honey on the very outside frames as food for the bees. But generally we don't harvest any honey from this box here, because otherwise they will die in the winter. So come springtime, the flowers are growing, the garden's in full bloom, I'll put on this queen excluder, and it's got some cracks where the queen actually can't get through, but all the worker bees are small enough that they can get in and out as needed. I'll then get a second box and put it on top, and the bees will start making lots and lots and lots of honey, just like this, in the same sort of frames, but they won't be laying eggs up. The queen won't be able to lay her eggs up there, which is much easier for honey extraction purposes.
Thank you, Annalise.
Do you put honeycomb in those wired frames, or how do the bees get a comb in gigantic gaps between the wires?
They will take the wax that they normally build anyway, and they will build wax above this frame, and in the empty frames they will actually just start to build it. It's in the God-given nature to start building little cells, little wax cells called honeycomb, and then they will lay eggs in those cells. What?
Where does the
Outside
honey
in.
come from?
From the outside in.
Yeah, they'll start building it from the outside inside.
Where does the honey come from inside the bee?
So they'll carry it on their back legs. They'll carry the pollen on their back legs, and they'll have pollen and nectar. And the nectar will actually, they'll ferment it to the point where it's ready to be capped, and they'll put wax cap on the front, and then it becomes honey.
And how long does that take?
I'm not sure.
From the beginning of the honey making to the waxing?
Probably 3 weeks per cell, because in one bee's lifetime, 3-week lifetime, it will make 1 teaspoon of honey.
I suppose, how much honey do you expect to extract from a hive each year?
Each year?
Yeah.
We will extract probably 50 kilograms from one hive over the summer.
And they only last 3 weeks. From
Yeah,
beginning
their
to
life
end.
cycle is only 3 weeks. The queen can live for like a year, maybe even 2.
But the queen, then the queen has to keep laying eggs.
Yes,
because
so she's
it only
constantly-
lasts for 3 weeks.
Correct. So they're constantly renewing the life cycle of the
The
hive.
colony.
Correct.
How long does the queen live for?
The
1
queen
year.
can live for 1 year. I have a queen who's only 2 months old at the moment, and she has a little bit of a damaged thorax, so all the bees might gather her, pick her up and stick her at the front, never to return, and they will breed themselves a new queen from the eggs that she has laid. So it just depends on how well she's doing as a queen, and whether she's laying well and that sort of thing. So different variations
So
can be.
how do the bees determine who is going to be the queen? Is it's obviously female?
Yes, and then what they will do is you've got all your normal cells that are laid in the frames, and what they will do is in summertime, if they need a new queen, they will feed. They might choose a couple, so they might choose 3 or 4. And they'll feed them a special substance called royal jelly, and it's
Yes.
the cream of the crop,
Yes.
best of the best food,
Yes.
and that makes her big enough.
But she's always
enough.
much bigger than the other bees.
Correct. Yep. And then
And so
either
they-
in the wild they would all hatch and they fight to the death, and
So
the one who wins is the queen. Or I might go over and I'll kill 3 of those little cells, and I'll just keep 1, and she'll become the queen.
So there's normally 3 on a tray.
There could be, if they're about to swarm, there'll be about 12
Potential
queen bees. Yep. And so I would either have to kill them off, or to stop them from swarming, or
So you only need the one.
I only want 1 queen.
There was a documentary film put out by Moody Institute of Science, which is a Bible school in Chicago, called The City of the Bees. And I remember seeing it as a teenage boy. And one of the things I recall is that when the drone, is it the drone?
Yes, they're the boys.
He comes back and he does a octagonal dance while his wings are going like this to help him cool.
Yep.
And the octagonal dance, and that sends a message to the rest of the colony, the direction and how many kilometres.
Correct. So it's called a waggle dance.
Yes.
And the waggle dance is used to communicate the direction and how many kilometres there's food. So everyone go in that direction and start collecting from over there. And that's how they talk to one another. They dance to talk to one another. And pheromones. The pheromones are really big with the bees.
So what are the
So they're like chemical pheromones. So if they're stressed, when I'm in there,
Mucking
they're
around, right.
gonna start hurting me, trying to hurt me. There'll be like they'll release like a banana smell, and it's game's over. Put it away, run away, quick.
For you.
They're going to
They're
swarm.
going to swarm you.
Well, they're gonna start attacking me if that's their stress hormone. But that's how they talk to one another. Their pheromones are really important. That's why we can't have chemicals. I can't wear deodorant or perfume when I'm managing the bees,
They get
because
upset.
it can damage
Mucks them
them and
up.
hurt them, and So I just wanted to show you, this is a bee brush, and so when I'm harvesting honey, I keep taking these out. When I'm harvesting honey, I'll take a frame out of the box, and I'll say that it's ready to go. I can see it's ready to go, and I'll brush all the bees off. And the other thing too, this is a queen clip. So sometimes you catch your
Catch
queen,
the
and
queen.
you put a little white dot on her, so that
Yes.
you can
find
sight
her.
her really quickly. But I haven't done that before. But I also use this to get bees frame once I brought it back home so that I don't get stung while harvesting honey. So it's a good bee clip to catch
I
bees.
could really get into this as a relationship with you, but it intrigues me. It's just a marvellous cycle,
Oh, it's amazing. I learn something every single time.
and you can relate it to all sorts of things in life.
Yeah. Yep. So,
That's great, Lacey.
very good. Thanks.